What if you were crowned king at the age of 4? This was the reality for Louis XIV. Born in the year 1638, Louis was the first child of Louis XIII and Anne of Austria, a much-awaited heir after 23 years of barren marriage. France at the time was a tumultuous landscape fraught with internal strife and external threats. With the unexpected death of his father in 1643, Louis ascended to the throne. Yet, he was a child, far too young to rule. Instead, his mother Anne took the reins as regent, with the cunning Cardinal Mazarin as her chief minister. Their influence during Louis's formative years was profound, shaping his understanding of power and governance. Under their guidance, Louis learned to navigate the treacherous waters of the French court, setting him on the path to becoming the Sun King. Thus began the reign of Louis XIV, a child king guided by firm hands, setting the stage for an extraordinary rule. Picture a palace so grand, it becomes the heart of a nation. Welcome to Versailles. Once a humble hunting lodge, Versailles was transformed under the watchful eyes of Louis XIV into an architectural masterpiece that still captivates the world today. This transformation wasn't simply a matter of aesthetics. Every stone laid, every fountain built, every gold leaf applied was a symbol of the Sun King's absolute power and wealth. The grandeur of Versailles was a testament to Louis XIV's reign, a visual representation of his unchallenged authority. The palace was not just a magnificent structure, it was a world within a world. Its intricate design, the elaborate gardens that seemed to stretch into infinity, the magnificent hallways and the iconic Hall of Mirrors were all part of an orchestrated spectacle meant to awe and inspire. Each room in Versailles was a testament to the Sun King's taste and vision. The Hall of Mirrors, with its 17 arched windows matched by 17 arched mirrors, reflected the beauty of the gardens, while filling the hall with an ethereal light. The hall was not only a passageway, but a place of grand receptions and balls, where the king showcased his power and opulence. But Versailles was more than just a palace of grand feasts and dazzling balls. It was the heart of political power, a stage where the drama of court life unfolded. It was a strategic masterstroke by Louis XIV, who brought the nobility under his control, by making Versailles their home. With the nobles under his watchful eye, rebellion was kept at bay, and the Sun King's absolute power remained unchallenged. Versailles was not just a palace, it was a statement of absolute monarchy, a testament to the Sun King's reign. It was a world of its own, a world where every detail, from the grandest hall to the smallest ornament, was a reflection of Louis XIV's vision and power. And even today, centuries later, Versailles stands as a monumental legacy of one of history's most enigmatic monarchs. Louis XIV was not just a king, he was a patron, a muse, and a trendsetter. His reign witnessed an unprecedented flourishing of the arts, indicating his profound love for culture and extravagance. Louis XIV was particularly fond of ballet, often performing in courtly productions himself, embodying roles that reinforced his image as a divine ruler. But his patronage didn't stop at dance. He sought to make France a beacon of culture, encouraging the creation of masterpieces in painting, sculpture, and literature. Artists like Charles Lebrun found favor under his rule, their works gracing the opulent halls of Versailles. In music, he championed composers such as Jean-Baptiste Lully, whose compositions came to define the French Baroque style. Louis XIV's patronage went beyond mere support. He actively shaped the cultural landscape of France, setting trends that spread across Europe. Through his support of the arts, Louis XIV sparked a cultural revolution that still resonates today. Imagine a world where every move is a dance, every gesture a statement. This was the reality within the opulent walls of Versailles under King Louis XIV, where court etiquette was elevated to an art form. The Sun King's court was a stage where elaborate ceremonies unfolded like well-rehearsed plays, each participant knowing their role. The king's waking, dining, and retiring were all grand events, performed with a precision that would make a ballet master envious. Hierarchy was as rigid as the corsets worn by the ladies of the court. It dictated who could speak when, who could sit where, and who could wear what. And in this world of glitter and gold, political maneuvers were often masked by a bow or a well-placed compliment. Here, a faux pas could mean more than just embarrassment, it could mean political suicide. In the gilded halls of Versailles, etiquette was not just manners, it was a way of life, a game of power. Wars are a test of a king's mettle, and Louis XIV had his fair share. The Sun King's reign was marked by numerous military campaigns. a testament to his strategic brilliance and unyielding determination to expand French influence across Europe. As a young king, Louis XIV was quick to recognize the importance of a strong military. He worked tirelessly to reform his army, instilling discipline and introducing standardized uniforms and equipment. This well-organized force soon became a formidable instrument of the French crown, setting the stage for Louis's ambitious territorial expansion. The War of Devolution, Louis XIV's first major military campaign, saw him flexing his military muscle as he claimed Spanish territories in the name of his wife. The war ended favorably for France, with the Treaty of Aix-la-Chapelle granting Louis control over several key cities. But this was just the beginning. The Dutch War, the War of the League of Augsburg, and the War of Spanish Succession followed in quick succession. These wars, often sparked by Louis's aggressive foreign policies, were marked by a mix of victories and defeats. Yet, the Sun King's resolve never wavered. He believed in his divine right to rule, and he was willing to fight for it. These wars had far-reaching implications, shaping the geopolitical landscape of 17th century Europe. They led to shifts in alliances, power balances, and territorial boundaries. France emerged as a dominant force, but the wars also drained the country's resources and left the populace weary. Louis XV's strategic brilliance shone through in his ability to rally his troops, maintain alliances, and outmaneuver his enemies. Yet, his relentless pursuit of territorial expansion and absolute power also sowed the seeds of conflict and discontent, heralding a tumultuous period in European history. Louis XIV's military prowess not only defined his reign but also shaped the course of European history. This is the paradox of the Sun King's military legacy, a blend of strategic genius and unyielding ambition that continues to captivate and intrigue us to this day. Behind the regal facade, Louis XIV was a man of passions and intrigues. His personal life was anything but ordinary, marked by a series of relationships that could rival any modern soap opera. The Sun King's marital life was a complex tapestry, woven with threads of political alliances and personal affections. His marriage with Maria Theresa of Spain was more a political maneuver than a love match, yet they produced 6 children, only one of whom survived into adulthood, a testament to the harsh realities of 17th century life. Beyond his marriage, Louis XIV's love affairs were the stuff of legend, with several mistresses gracing the court of Versailles. Each relationship bore its own intrigue, from Louise de la Valliere's secret trysts to Madame de Montespan's public displays of influence. His relationships were not just romantic dalliances but also vehicles for political maneuvering and courtly intrigue. In the Sun King's personal affairs, we find a human side to the monarch, adding layers to his fascinating persona. The Sun King's reign ended, but his legacy endures. King Louis XIV left an indomitable imprint on France and indeed Europe. He forged a centralized state, setting a precedence for future monarchs. His absolutist rule, while controversial, undeniably shaped the political landscape of Europe, influencing the governance of subsequent generations. Culturally, Louis XIV's impact is equally profound. He was a great patron of the arts, and it was under his rule that France became the epicenter of European culture. The Sun King's court was a veritable hothouse of creative brilliance, nurturing talents that would echo through the ages. Modern times still reverberate with the Sun King's influence. His absolutist principles, his patronage of the arts, even the grandeur of court life at Versailles, these aspects of his reign are still reflected in various facets of contemporary society. Thus, we see the indelible mark of Louis XIV, the Sun King, whose rays of influence continue to illuminate the corridors of history.